Hello and welcome to the session May the Growth Be With You. Daniela, or Dana as everybody calls her, loves to travel around the world, taste different food, which she is not allergic to if possible, and adores her cat Muffin. In case you're wondering why everybody calls her Dana, it has to do with her being a nerdy child who loved the X-Files and the character of Dana Scully since when she was 5 years old. And yes, there were no TVs with parental control back in the 90s. She works at Creative Word, a small Italian SLV, and their operations manager, a role she likes to describe as doing everything while doing nothing at the same time. She is now here at GALA to talk about growth strategies for small to medium LSPs. Okay, Dana, the audience is yours.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you. So let me add my slides. Okay. Okay, you should be able to see something. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so thanks for the introduction, Marcus, and thank you all for being here. So let's just dive right into it. So this presentation will be about growth for a small medium LSPs like Creative Words. And this is more or less the agenda. I will go very quickly about what we do at Creative Words in terms of growth, what means having a clear business positioning, and what happens when you do not have one. Then we will also go through some techniques, some growth techniques, from sales to growth hacking. And yes, growth hacking will be the end of the presentation. So first of all, I would like to know from you, who was in the audience now, who are you? If you belong to a small company, small medium, medium large, or you are just a one-person company. So there's a poll for you out, just so we know more or less who I'm talking to. Okay. I'm not seeing the replies yet, so I'm giving you some time probably. Okay. 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 Well, thanks for your replies. Okay, great. No, because I couldn't see that. Okay, small to medium, great. So it's great that you're here. There's also somebody from a larger company. Great. So it would be interesting to hear your opinion after this. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ali. Okay, so moving on. Creative Words. The name's words, Creative Words. Creative Words is a fairly recent company. It was founded at the very end of 2016, but we've had a steady and quick growth over the years. This is the past 5 years growth that we've had. You can see the turnover. We've now reached around $2 million in turnover last year. And we are now 15 people, among which we have 6 full-time project managers, 5 lead linguists, 1 marketing manager, and we'll talk more about that later, and 1 community manager. This is mainly the main production team that we have. Of course, then there's me, the CEO, accounting, and all other roles. But before we get back to that and how we grew from 2016 on to today, this is a screenshot taken from the 2022 NIMSY 100, just to remind ourselves, especially the small and medium LSPs out there, but not only, that the market is growing. This is the 5-year projection. So there is a space for everyone if we are able to find that space within the market. And again, from the NIMSY 100, this is the graph showing that only the very top of this graph, 18% of the companies are among the 100 list, the top 100 largest companies. So all the rest is us, is the small, medium LSPs. But we've seen the market is growing, but we have also seen many things happening in the past couple of years, let's say, from COVID to mergers and acquisitions happening. So the bigger companies are becoming even bigger. So how can we, as small companies, can survive in this new environment? So life is like a box of chocolate, but unlike the quote, I like to think that it is not that you never know what you're going to get. You need to know what you want. You need to know what kind of chocolates you like the best. So in this case, I'm using this metaphor to talk about business positioning. So strategic business positioning is something that you as a company should find, especially when you want to grow and when you're small. It is the position of the company in relation to the environment and to the various sectors and businesses in which it operates. Now, back to creative words. 2016, it was created, but it was November, so we don't really count 2016 as a year. 2017 was the very first year of the company. We had no maturity level at all, so we literally grew by chance. And the very first project that helped us grow was a machine translation post-editing project about an e-commerce website. So really, there was nothing creative about it. So despite the name, Creative Words, we really were taking everything by chance. But this project helped us to understand better what we were good at. We learned our strengths. And so between 2018 and 2020, we started to define more where we wanted to be and our positioning. And we had the resources because those big series of projects really helped us to grow. We doubled in size by 2020. When I joined in 2018, I was the fourth person in the company, and now we are 15. So yeah, we grew quite rapidly for a small company. But then 2020 happened. So yes, Houston, we do have a problem there, because back to 2020, we were scared about what could have happened. So in March, we were all, back home, and we were unsure what the future would bring. So we had started to find our business positioning, but then we decided to think again and take it all back in, again to grow kind of by chance and take everything that was coming our way, because we were worried we would have lost business. But this was an issue because we had grown already. So we had PMs and VMs, and there was also a salesperson. We do not have a salesperson right now. I'm going to talk about that later also. So what happens when you do not have a clear positioning? The VM was not sure who to find to add to the database, because we had told her we would have gone towards one direction, and then all of a sudden we wanted to take on new languages or new services. The PMs were not sure whether to accept or not new tasks, and the salesperson that we had back then wasn't given the right direction again, because we were like, yeah, let's just try and take as many projects as you can, as many new clients as you can. So clearly this was not the way. We really had a problem. So it wasn't until last year and this year that we found that the truth really is a beautiful and a terrible thing. Beautiful and a terrible thing is just a metaphor. You will see many movie-inspired metaphors along the journey. So we really realized that there was really no point in competing with even 1 billion companies, because we've also had a 1 billion company last year in the localization business. So what we do best is to have the in-house linguistic team, Italian linguistic teams. So what we've always done in the best way possible was to be a single language vendor. So that's what we decided to be, and that's where we're going now. So I know some of you might say, you're crazy. Why are you sticking to one language? It's not exactly like that. I mean, we're doing into and from Italian, and for some clients, especially the oldest one that we have, we also serve them on a couple of other languages, but we tend to sell ourselves out there as a single language vendor, and all our strategy, marketing-wise, is into that direction. These are just some examples of the direction, the business positioning that small, but also larger LSPs can take. So we're going SLV, but we could have gone MLV and grow and become again. But it would have meant competing with the bigger names in that graph that we showed at the beginning. Or you can be a company specialized by topic or service, Or you can be a regional company, so you would be bigger in that sense. Or you could go general, and this saved us in a way in 2020. But as we saw, it wasn't really the best idea, the best solution. It helped us, we survived, and actually we grew in 2020. So now I would like to know from you, with this very, again, short poll, why do you want to grow? What are the reasons why you want to grow? Of course, these are just some questions, some replies that you can think of. Of course, there are so many others why you want to grow. I try to summarize them in 4. So now you've got the time to tell me why you want to grow. You might want to have a larger team or buy more companies, or maybe you want to sell out and retire, which is fine. Or you just want your staff to be working in a safe and growing company. We're giving you a few more seconds, I guess. Okay. I'm just checking the results. Okay, you want to have a larger team. Okay, somebody wants to sell and retire, which is great. Yeah, and I agree. I want me and the staff to be working in a safe and growing company. Thank you for voting. Thanks, Ali. Okay, so growth. How can you grow? We mentioned we grew by chance at the beginning. Clearly, that's not the direction you should take. These are just some aspects and some growth techniques that you can think of. But of course, they're not all of them. And I'm not going to go through all of them either, because we don't have the time. But you could have a sales team. I mentioned we do not have a salesperson or a sales team in-house right now. Or you can grow thanks to visibility, marketing, content marketing, mergers and acquisitions. We have seen that happening at higher level, but also at smaller levels. Or you can grow by referrals and working on account management. Now, what we did at Creative Words was mainly to focus on account management. So keep your friends close means exactly this, that as a statistic that we all know, it is easier to keep and growing the existing customers that we have rather than finding new ones. And again, since we did not have and we do not have a salesperson, this was the only way we could think of. And how did we do that? We set specific OKRs. So the OKR framework is the one that we use for goal settings. And so we had specific OKRs for the team, which is more client-facing, so the project managers mainly. So we had specific key results towards upselling and cross-selling, and we made sure that they had the same, the good training that they could get, the best training that they could get to learn how to do that. So this is a way of growing. But of course, you can have a sales team. I wanted to mention this because, as I said, we do not have someone right now. We had someone. But especially you, the small, medium LSPs, I'm sure you are seeing the same struggles that we are seeing. Either you find someone who is already experienced in localization and in sales, but that person is probably going to be very expensive. Or you can find someone who is a sales expert, but maybe knows nothing about localization. So you have to train that person into localization. Or you can go the other way around. You can find someone in localization, maybe a project manager or an account manager, and train that person into becoming a salesperson. But neither me nor the CEO of the company, we do not have any sales experiences as such. We are not salespeople, so we do not have the strengths and the knowledge to train them. And again, even if you take junior people, you have to train them on both localization and sales. So what we are trying to do now, and again, this is just an experiment, we are teaming up with NIMSI, and we are going through a business development bootcamp with them. Basically, we selected a few participants, 10 participants, and the bootcamp is starting next week. Now we have selected them thanks to NIMSI. They set up a test for them. So we selected the participants, and now these people, junior people, they're going to go through a 4-week 2-week training and then an additional 2 weeks of simulation, where they will learn the basics of localization and sales. And ideally, we want to hope that by June, we will have found someone to join the company as a BDR, business development representative. So again, we're trying. I don't have the reply already to this, but we hope this will work. Then marketing and trying to be visible. If you know a bit of Creative Words, it's probably because you've seen us on social media. We try to be as visible as we can, but not just company-wise. We try to be there as people. I am here and I'm not the CEO of the company. I am at GALA and I'm speaking, but also our PMs and VMs are speaking at other conferences. We try to be there. We try to first grow ourselves as professionals and then bring out the name of Creative Words. But then we also need someone in-house, marketing-wise, because it is so important to have a clear brand identity and communication style and the importance of the brand. This is just a carousel taken from really our Canva account, but it should show you that we use colors in a certain way, we use certain fonts, and this is our style. We want to be recognized as such. And we think it's important to have someone in-house, and it is unusual probably for a small LSP. We said we are 15 people in the company, and one of them is a marketing expert. He doesn't come from a localization background. He's just a marketing expert. But this person eats and breathes Creative Words contents every day. He knows the culture and he brings it on out in the world. So he creates papers and ebooks so that he speaks really our language. Now, last question for you for the last bit of the presentation. Do you know what growth hacking means? Just a very short survey and then we'll finish up. Okay, yeah, you might have heard of it, but maybe you don't really know what it is about. You know exactly what it is, and maybe this is something that you already know, or growth what? Okay, just one second. Okay, we're getting some replies. Okay, great, I can see the votes now. Okay, most of you heard of it, but are not sure what it is. So you are in good company, because before us getting to study about growth hacking, I wasn't sure. I heard of it, but I wasn't sure what it was. So growth hacking is actually a process. So to put it in very simple terms, growth hacking means trying different things, marketing-wise, let's say, and sales-wise, but without sticking to one thing until you see, I don't know, in a year time if it worked or not. So it's a rapid process. You can try different things and then test out new ones if those didn't work. The big names that you see in the slide here are just some of the companies that grew thanks to growth hacking. But in no way this means that only big companies should follow growth hacking techniques to grow. And actually, we're like I mentioned, we're not big at all. But when I studied about growth hacking, I realized all of a sudden that some things that we did at Creative Words were actually growth hacking hacks. Among the few that I can share with you, maybe it's something that you've already done also on your end. We have a referral program, for example, bring a customer. So, and it's both for the in-house staff and the freelancers. So basically, if you bring in a customer, you get a commission, as if it was a salesperson, but we have spread it all out to the employees and the freelancers. And it's working, actually, by the way. Then we have lots of initiatives for students. One of those, the biggest one that we have is we've created in 2020 an e-learning platform, English and Italian, video lessons, video courses for young professionals to join the localization world and business. And now that these professionals have entered the world of work, you know, that they've joined companies, some of them have become our clients, because they remembered Creative Words for giving them something back in 2020, let's say, and now they came back to us saying, look, I need translation from you now because now I am a buyer. So that helped as well. Then, as I mentioned, we have a marketing person. We do lots of content strategy, and we create free ebooks, papers, anything, and uh, and then we try to gather all their information, and we put them into a funnel for marketing automation. Then SEO, well, we've rebuilt our website, so that really helped. Chatbots is still work in progress. Basically, any touching point that the client can get is something. It's a growth hacking act. And QR codes everywhere. I'm sure you've noticed within the presentation that there were a few. There's also one here. Nothing fancy here. They just redirect us all to the website of Creative Words. In this case, it's the eLab, the e-learning platform for students. But what I wanted to say by putting the QR codes here was that I was grabbing, in a way, your attention, and I'm sure that some of you at least tried out where that QR code was pointing. So last thing that I want to mention, just for you to know, maybe you know more, and I would love to hear about that later if you want. These are just a few tools that you can use for growth hacking, and I divided into 4 categories: analytics, feedback gathering tools, or lead generation and automation tool. We use Google, so we use analytics and Google Forms and all the suite for that part. We use Sendinblue for lead generation. Of course, HubSpot is probably even better, I'm sure. And we use all sorts of automation tools as well. So that was it from me. The bottom line here is that growth is expensive, especially for a small, medium, even small LSP like Creative Words. But growth hacking can be the solution because it's a way to economize. So the idea is to always try, start again, and be creative in a way. So thank you. You have also my contact details down below, and I'm here for you if you have any questions.
Thanks a lot, Dana. That was a great presentation. Actually, I've immediately tried out the QR code. It's really a nice thing to have it really at hand. Growth hacking as an agile way of, let's say, grabbing attention is really a very nice methodology. So does anybody has a question to call? So otherwise, I have some questions, Daniela, actually, to you.
I'll be happy to reply.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see if maybe also other participants would like to address or open up the microphone and speak up or address another question in the chat. That would be really nice. One question from my side. You mentioned to set goals or OKRs for the stuff to be kind of brand ambassadors, right?
Yeah.
How did that work? I mean, aren't you afraid that by doing so, allow everyone to be more visible and go out and about, that they will leave the company?
It's something that many people asked us in the past, aren't you afraid that by putting them on the spotlight, they will want to leave at some point? Short answer, no. I mean, we're giving them the chance to grow, and this means that maybe they will want to stay with us, but if they don't, it's fine. I mean, what our CEO always says is the door is open both ways. They can go and come whenever they want. But honestly, we really strongly believe that we are a company made of people, and it's not just a one-person company as it used to be probably in 2017. The first conference I went to in 2018, I think, I was nobody. And when I was saying I work at Creative Words, nobody would know anything, but they knew my boss because he was always the one visible. But he didn't want that for his company. So he really wanted us to be out there and speak up. So right now we have our VMs speaking at other conferences, the PMs going out and about, and it's great. And we have goals for them. We try to encourage that if they want, of course.
That's super cool. I mean, hopefully there's also enough travel budget available for creating this kind of visibility. So maybe one additional question. I mean, I saw that you mentioned a sales boot camp. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, sure. The idea, well, we work with Nimdzi, so they are great partners to work with, and they are the experts. Like I mentioned, we do not have a sales team. We never had one. We don't have the knowledge for that. So we were relying on their expertise. And we've actually come through another bootcamp, not done with Nimdzi, but with Localization Academy, to find new project managers. And we have seen that this kind of format was working. So we found we've had 2 editions of that bootcamp, and now we have 4 new project managers. Because first of all, it's a 1 month period, and you have a wider choice of people to choose from. But these people, these young people, also get the chance to first of all learn a profession, and they get a certificate that they can use somewhere else as well. And they start to know immediately if they want, if they like the job, if they like the role. And it's also a way to economize. Again, it's a growth hacking act, if you want, because
Sure.
hiring someone could be more expensive, from scratch.
Dana, we have another minute. Maybe a short question to last to a short answer to a last question that I want to make. How would you define the techniques you use at Creative Words for growing? Just a short answer, because we really need to finish up in time.
Creative, I would say.
Okay, that's wonderful, Dana.
Yes.
So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I hope we see the participants in the next session. I think, Dana, you can be contacted for a direct interview or direct communication in the lounge. You will be available, hopefully, or a networking session. So many thanks, Dana. That concludes the session.
Thank you.
Hope you see you in the next one. Bye bye. Have a nice conference. Bye.
Bye, and you too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.